Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart from Miami Inner Light. Now I like to call it Mia Inner Light here in Kardec Radio. So, very happy to be here with you again, spreading the good news, studying this beautiful spiritist doctrine. And if you are new, this is the book that we are always studying among brothers of other lands. And this book is a compendium of many messages from different spirits. And these messages were psychographic by the medium Chico Xavier and Valdo Vieira. So just 1 second, let me connect this item here. Good. So if you are new, this is a beautiful book. We are today in chapter 31st. It's a very long chapter. So I divided it in 3 portions, and today is the last portion. So hopefully we will have time to also study this beautiful book. That's the Gospel According to Spiritism. What? I always have problems with the cameras. So usually the last 15 minutes, we study the Gospel According to Spiritism. And because the chapter of Among Brothers of Other Lands was so big, we kind of stopped for like 2 weeks. So today we have to go back. So before I start, I just want to show you our page. So you can see here, this is Mia Inner Light on Facebook. So in this page here, I post all the information that when we discuss here during our study, we have many times we have questions from all of you, or we mention certain items. So I like to post here so you can have all the information. So we started here. Here, when you see Gabriel Delanne, I posted the Wikipedia because the chapter we are studying today, it was a chapter. Let me go back here just for you to understand. So the title is 20 Questions with Gabriel Delanne, and the spirit who wrote this is André Luiz. But André Luiz is telling us an interview in the spiritual realm with the French spirit Gabriel Delanne. So I like to post on the Mia Inner Light all the information that we go through, and it can be a good basis of a research for you later on. So if you ask questions, I will be happy to answer. But if there are further things later on, then you can find in this in our Facebook page. And here, just as a curiosity for you guys too, every single lecture or every study is recorded here also in Mia Inner Light. So here, YouTube page, and here you see charitable work, you see other books that we study, and many lectures that I gave. But as you know, Kardec Radio also has beautiful YouTube and the Facebook. So there is everything to everybody. We can always learn. We can always continue our improvement. It depends on us, what we are going to do. And I was thinking a few weeks ago that I really enjoy interaction. And I mentioned also that in the past, we used to have a group on Skype. So everybody used to look at everybody, and I used to read a portion of a text and everybody comment. It was really beautiful. But then we decided to move on to lives on Facebook because we could spread to more people, we could record, and then we kind of lost that interaction. So thinking about it, that's when I thought, I really want to invite some friends to join us and to start participating. And today I have my dear friend here. So Carla Marquez. I'm sure a lot of you probably know Carla, especially people here in Florida, because Carla also has a beautiful channel that she puts all kinds of positive messages, and it's always inspiring us. And we have a private group. I have a private group on WhatsApp, and she works with Teresa Castro also here, because Teresa, this one here, she is the official translator for Carla, because Carla puts the messages in Portuguese and Teresa translates in English. The group is in English. So Carla, say hello.
Hello.
Very good. So Carla today, she is starting this program, if we can say so, the final prayer. She will do the final prayer for us involving our planet. And it's wonderful to have a participation of new friends. So if you want to participate too, let me know. Maybe you will be here with us. So now, as I always like to do, I want to invite all of you for our initial prayer. So if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. I would tell you to close your eyes, although you will be looking at the hundreds of things in the computer and you will not be able to connect. If you have a bottle of water or a glass of water, please put it there so the enlightened spirits will make it your medication for the day or for the week. So let's just relax and 1 minute and let's pray. God, our Mother and Father, at this moment we would like to thank you for your inspiration, your guidance, your help, bringing all of us here together to study the beautiful teachings, the moral teachings of Master Jesus through these two books. We ask you to stay with us, connecting us with peace, with love, helping us to be able to fully understand and focus on everything that will be said tonight, so we can really fulfill and soon put everything in practice. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good. So see you in a few minutes, Carla.
Okay.
So my friends, let's start the chapter. We are actually finishing the chapter. So we stopped in question number 14. But if you just arrived and you don't know what we are doing, as I mentioned, the spirit André Luiz is in the spiritual realm. He met the spirit Gabriel Delanne. And Gabriel Delanne, he was born in Spiritism. His parents were personal friends of Kardec. And his mother was an ostensive medium. So he grew up thinking Spiritism and mediumship was very normal, very simple thing. So he was a man that was able to give a lot to us. He has beautiful books, and in Mia Inner Light Facebook page, I put lots of information, Wikipedia, lots of information about him. So you can go there and get more about his personal life. And we stopped in question 14, but I think we need to go back to 13 because it was an important question and the other ones are kind of connecting with it. So I just want to say hello to our friends because I even forgot to say. So my friends, if you are looking via Facebook, I cannot see your names. So I only can see if you log in, but I can see the ones who log in if you write something, sorry. So I can see here Matthew. Hi Matthew, how are you? Please remind me 15 minutes prior to talk about the gospel. You are my secretary for today. So Saul Souza, hello Saul. Nora Brazil, hi Nora. Teresa, I already spoke about you. Mark Carlos, hello Mark, welcome, welcome. So let's go so we can finish this long chapter. Number 13. Where are the biggest obstacles for the spreading of the Spiritist doctrine? This was the question André Luiz, the one who wrote the book Nosso Lar or Astral City via Chico Xavier, asked to Gabriel Delanne. And he answers, in our opinion, the greatest obstacles for Spiritism came from the performance of those who reincarnate promising to serve Jesus, be it through direct or indirect mediumship in the field of inspiration and intelligence. But they fall in the trap of the physical seductions, becoming genuine mediums of the inferior regions. Once they don't deny the truth of Spiritism, but they are ready to ridicule them through sarcastic written messages, or through the histrionic art, where we can find the unproductive demonstration or phenomena, the fantastic stories, the depressive jokes, and the horror movies. So here, Gabriel Delanne is saying that a lot of people, when we go to the spiritual realm, when we discarnate, when we die, we arrive there and then we want to help to spread the good news. So we say, no, I want to reincarnate. I want to be a spiritist medium, because we know the difference. There are mediums everywhere, in every religion, in every type of society, in every country. But a spiritist is the ones who actually dedicate themselves to the Kardec codification, to the studies that Kardec codified to us. But then when we come back, when we incarnate, we start thinking about different things, and we start really, we connect with the flesh, and our ideas are not 100% anymore. We are still connected as a medium and with some kind of spirituality, but then, as he said, we divert. We are not the ones focused on spreading the good news anymore. We actually become the bad mediums. We become the mediums that make fun of spiritism, the mediums that charge money to give a communication or to help in some kind of spiritual treatment. So, or we even start amplifying the mediumship in a sense that it doesn't exist, like inventing things. Like, if, for example, if you become a medium of consultation, you start saying, oh, I see your father, but you actually were not seeing anything. So if it is discovered, it becomes like a joke. And of course, this can be used against spiritism, because there are already so many people that do not believe, and there are so many charlatans that try to pretend to be mediums and they are not. So that's why so many people think mediumship is actually fake. But unfortunately, there are lots of charlatans, but they need to understand the mediumship is real, but it depends of the medium. The medium is actually the physical conductor. Is it a good one or is it a bad one? So this is the main point. So that's what Delanne is explaining, that if all the people that are really compromised with spiritism, they said they were going to do what they were supposed to do, if they had done, the impulse towards something more positive would be faster. But unfortunately, we arrive here, we forget everything we promised. We forget everything we promised related to our own development in their incarnation. Imagine something related to spirituality, not like our daily lives in the sense of eating, surviving, having a family. So that's why they say whenever the spirit returns to the flesh, many things can change. Unfortunately, when we are in the spiritual realm, we are super connected with our mind, and we are very bright in the understanding of everything we made wrong and what we need to make correct to be able to be positive. But then when we come back, you know, the veil of forgetfulness and then the connection of with the flesh, we kind of forget most of the things we promised us so much. That's why many times the spirituality have to help us. Have to help us in a little bit stronger way, almost like painful, so we have a wake up call. In my case, for example, I was born in a Catholic family. Nobody really knew spiritism. There was no one that was from a different religion. Everybody, they were all Catholics. And when I always had mediumship since as a child, but my parents, they always told me, especially my mother, she always said, "Oh, it's your imaginary friend. Oh, don't say this. Oh, Angela, this is a joke. Stop." And then I understood that I couldn't talk to anyone about that because my whole family didn't understand. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe it is my imagination. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 10, yeah, 10, I used to see this spirit that was very ugly, and I was afraid of him. But he used to come to the bedroom with me, and he always stayed by the door. Thank God. He always stayed by the door. He never moved closer. Probably because I was a child and I had a protection, but I could see him. And I remember telling him, "You are not my imaginary friend because I don't want to have you as a friend." And he was like, but he didn't do much. But then when I finally grew up, I became an adult and I was moving to the United States. That's when the mediumship really exploded and was super strong. And then I was an adult, so I knew what was going on. But I still remember telling my mother, "Mom, I'm seeing spirits every day." And she's like, "Oh my God, really?" Well, long story short, my parents couldn't help me, but God always help us. So I spent like 4 or 5 days having these strong meetings every single day for 5 days, from 3:30 in the morning until the sun arrived. But I was like so desperate, didn't know what to do. I did all kinds of prayers, nothing worked. But then in the weekend, I had the inspiration of going to a friend's house. And then when I arrived there, boom, they used to be Catholics and they had become spiritists. And I didn't even know. And they were the ones who actually helped me. And when I told my ordeal, they said, "This is just mediumship." I was like, "Oh, good. How do I get rid of it?" Like most of us, most of the people that go to a spiritist center, they go like this: how can I stop seeing spirits? So don't worry, it is normal. We just need to understand how to control it, because you cannot block it totally, but you can control it for your own betterment. So going to a spiritist center, studying the spirit's book, studying the medium's book from Kardec, this will give you a lot of guidance and you will understand what to do. So going to number 14, so this is basically what 13 is saying. If we were able to do what we promised, the world would be so much better. So number 14. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to ask any questions, please just write it and I will try to take a look and I can answer it. So Matthew said, I would like to hear more about this next time we talk. Yes, yes. It's very interesting. Anyone that talks about the mediumship, it's very interesting. So, number 14. How do you see such distortions? He's talking about the distortions of the mediums reincarnating and not doing the job they promised. So he answers, the millions of inferior spirits there are that surround humankind have their mediums. It is impossible to deny this. So what he's saying is that the inferior spirits, that we have superior spirits, we have us, kind of middle level spirits, and the inferior spirits. Inferior spirits are our brothers and sisters who still have a pleasure in doing something bad, in doing something negative. So we call them inferior because they still are in that level, low level, that for them making somebody else sad, it's fun. So we are not like this anymore. We already evolved. And the superior spirits are the ones who are helping us and them to be able one day to become also like them, a spirit of light helping others. So he is saying there are millions of inferior spirits, so they find the mediums to connect. So when a medium, when a person is already a good person, working towards their betterment, trying to help others, trying to improve their moral conduct, the spirits this person attract are spirits their level or better, because they see, oh, this guy is trying to improve, so I'm gonna try to help them. But of course, if there is a medium, I'm talking about the mediums per se, if there is a medium who really is not trying to improve his moral level, is still enjoying many types of like a smoke or drink or enjoy gossip or even violence. So this type of mediums will attract the spirits that enjoy this. So this is what he's saying. There are, to all kinds of mediums, there are the spirits that can connect to him or her. So that's when we have to do our best as a person and also as a medium. As I always say, we are all mediums. But there are the ones that are ostensive mediums, the ones who can see, hear, touch spirits. And there are the other ones, that's the majority, that you have an inspiration, you thought you heard something, you had an idea to call someone, or you should go to the left and you just decided to go to the right in the street. So these are the majority of the population. And then number 15. Oh, I have to pay attention to the time because today we have to do the gospel. The 15. In what way can we win the gigantic maze that operates the influence of the shadows? So, André Luiz is trying to say, give us a plan. Give us a plan. How can we win this battle of the good and the bad? And then the answer is educating. So, the answer of educating works for everything. He is talking here about the development or the spreading the good news in spiritism through education. But the education can also be for our day-to-day lives. So nowadays we are during this COVID-19, we are all in our homes, and we faced a few days ago, we saw on TV terrible things that happened, racism, and a man was killed by a police officer. And then so many things came after this, many protests, but then things that were kind of forgotten, they showed up. We were able to see it again. So we were able to understand that the racism still exists and is still very much strong. And I'm not just talking about the black people. I'm talking about everything that's different. Everything that's different. The LGBT community, they face so much struggles too. Or the Latins in a place that is mostly white Americans, for example. The thing we have to understand is that we can never generalize. All Americans are like this. All Brazilians are like this. All, no, no, we can never generalize because there is a minority who unfortunately still acts like that. But the majority of people nowadays, because thank God we reincarnate so many times, we evolved through reincarnation. Because in the past, we probably, me, Angela, you, probably we were the ones we were persecuting in the past. But through the reincarnation process, through a lot of pain, we were able to learn. We were able to understand that whenever you input some pain or you promote some kind of violence of hatred, somehow you will go through that too. The law of action and reaction. So whatever you do, you will get back. So we want to nowadays, we want to do love. We want to promote peace. We want to promote friendship. So it's important for us to understand there is a minority of people that are still very racist about whatever is different. That's why bullying is so common and is so talked nowadays in the school. Because yes, racism, it starts when we are little, in the school with the little kids. And the parents need to be very careful with it. But now the school is doing a good job. Because in the past, I suffered so much bullying, so much, you have no idea. When I was young, I used the glasses. I used the glasses until I was 15. And my nickname was Four Eyes. Yes, I was the Four Eyes. So wherever I went, everybody, oh, the four eyes are coming. Oh, the four eyes are coming. And I suffered. I suffered with that because I started using glasses around 11. So this was very tough for me. Is when the child is becoming a teenager, is totally self-confident, is feeling horrible, it's like, ugh, and it's very tough. And my best friend, she used braces. So they called her the horse mouth, is the best friend of the four eyes. And in that time, there was nothing you could do. There was nobody, you couldn't go anywhere to ask for help. You couldn't go to the principal of the school to say something because they're like, well, it's bad. I feel sorry for you. It's bad. But they wouldn't do anything. So nowadays it's different. Nowadays it's better. So we are improving. So the same thing with racism and in all types of things. So through education, and education, it starts in our families. So you are a mother, father, an aunt, you are a best friend of someone with little kids. So whenever you see something that's not good, we have to educate. Educate is not fight, is not beat up, it's just talk about. And the little kids are very intelligent. So you say, if you were that kid, would you like someone else tell you something like this, and this? How would you act? And the kid would probably, I would cry or I would beat up. So the kids, they have to understand, they have to be put in that situation to be able to understand they are actually hurting someone. So we do this educational process in every field. Wherever we see this, I saw a video that was very beautiful also of two teenagers. They were fighting and they start fighting. I don't remember why they were fighting. And then this man from nowhere, he arrived and he separated them. And he started telling them, listen, you have to stop. And the worst thing is that these two teenagers, they start fighting and all their friends were around laughing. Yes, the friends were around laughing, trying to see who was going to win. And this man arrived, separate them, and told them, when I was young, I was like you, and I ended up in jail. And it was very difficult. My life was very difficult after I had that in my resume. And I had to battle a lot to be able to get a job. I was able to get a job. I was able to go to college. I'm a better person now. So you should avoid this. And then he told the other ones, and you, all of you, are feeding the fight. If and then he told the two guys, if you two think they are your friends, they are not your friends. Because if they were your friends, they would be separating you. They wouldn't be laughing of both of you. So this was a lesson. And in the end, this guy still made them to shake hands and hug each other. I was just like, oh. And all the friends who were laughing, they fled, they left because they felt bad with the situation. So this is how we have to behave. And this is how education in every single sense will help, not just spiritism, but our society in general. And in spiritism also, because the educated mediums are going to understand they have to connect with good things. The ones that are educated in spiritism, they know mediumship has to be for free. So they are not going to be charging money to people. They are going to be connected with charitable work. They are going to be connected with the thousands of books we have to improve in intellectuality and immorality. So that's how we will educate, and that's how we are going to win this battle. So now, and then 16, how? I already gave the whole explanation, my explanation. So his explanation is explaining both in the Eastern and Western religions. So Eastern religion is the Taoism. Do I say Taoism? No, Taoism. The Taoism, the Confucianism, the Hinduism. These are the Eastern religions, and the Western religions is the Catholicism, the Judaism, is Islam. So this is Western religion. So he said these religious systems that the human being, no matter the time and place, only owns what she made of him or herself. So this is beautiful. Let me read again. Explaining both in the Eastern and Western religion systems that the human being, no matter the time and place, only owns what she made of him or herself. So we educating ourselves is whatever we are making of the best of us. How are we educating ourselves? How are we improving ourselves? And as he said, doesn't matter religion, which religion you have. So he said Eastern, Western. I even say it doesn't even matter religion. Even the ones that have no religion. So you can have no religion, but you feel that you want to be a good person. So you don't believe in God. You believe that there is something that you don't understand, but you do not like to connect with any religion. But you are a good person. And you see someone suffering, you want to help. You do help. So that's how we are going to be able to become better. We have to take action. You know, that's what that's the difference in I love, and I work towards the love. So charity is this work, this love in action. This is charity. That's when you love, but you put your love to a good cause. This is charity. Number 17. Do you mean the necessity of the spreading of the Spiritist doctrine? Yes. So we have to spread the Spiritist doctrine. We have to bring it to as many people as we can. You know, I love to talk about reincarnation because reincarnation for me is something so natural. When I see little kids playing piano, when I see little kids doing mathematical calculations without even had studied, This is a proof of reincarnation. So I love to post it on Facebook and people start like, reincarnation. But sometimes they ask questions and then I explain. I explain and I explain and I explain. And I love to see reincarnation in beautiful things, but in negative things are also reincarnation. Sometimes we commit terrible mistakes with our own bodies. We cannot take we cannot take some kind of pain, unfortunately, many times because of love, because when you are young and you think that man or that woman is the only love of your life, and if that person doesn't want you, you kill yourself, you take your own life. There are very, very difficult consequences for suicide. So this is also reincarnation, but this is a gift from God. It doesn't matter the mistake you make, you will have another opportunity to be able to do a cleansing of your physical body and start all over. So this is beautiful. Number 18. But according to your concept, the spreading should be done from person to person. Have we understood it correctly? Yes, from person to person, from conscience to conscience. Truth does not reach anybody through compulsion. Truth is for the soul what literacy is for the brain. A wise person won't get to learn through us, no matter how wise he or she is. So through person to person. Yes. So through me to you, from you to your friends, to your family. So that's how we start spreading it. And nowadays, with the beauty of social media, it's even faster, it's even easier. There are so many places that there are no spiritist centers. So if your city has a spiritist center, that's a blessing. You can go there, you can drive there, and you can enjoy meeting people and learning. But if you can't, here, Kardec Radio, every day, 24/7. You have so many beautiful studies to improve yourself. So don't stay in the me, like we say in Brazil, that the person that is always complaining. Nowadays, you cannot complain. There is studies to everyone. The thing is, do you want to do it? That's the point. You have to desire to do it. Number 19. Wouldn't you consider this is a slow process for mankind? And then he answers, a masterpiece of art demands sometimes existences and existences for the artist who pursues the condition of a genius. How would you understand that the information of the perfection of the immortal spirit would happen only by verbal affirmations of some days? So this is beautiful too. So he is saying here that the masterpiece requires a long time, and this is true. So it's not because I'm going to talk to you about spiritism that you are going to agree with me and you are going to decide to study too. But if the person already has that seed inside of himself or herself, this will be a boost. The person will be curious. We'll ask you questions. We want to know more. But as he said, sometimes you are going to just plant the seed. The person asks you questions, but never took really interest in it. But you just planted the seed. Like my parents, I became spiritist 20 years ago. And I have been forever talking to my parents. But only like 3-4 years ago, they became spiritists. They really embraced, and they do the gospel at home. They go to a spiritist center, and they are learning how to give passes. So it's beautiful. The seed already germinated. This is very beautiful. So I see. Oh, I see Adam. Hello, Adam, my dear. Nice to see you, my friend Adam is from New York. Davi, hello, Davi, how are you? I'm glad you joined us too. This is awesome. So, Davi, what Davi said, Angela, we also call the imperfect spirits. Yes, of course, we are imperfect spirits. Are you kidding me? But the important thing is that we already took the action of improving ourselves. This is the difference. So last question. Whew, I can't believe I have 4 minutes. Whew. Matthew, you didn't even need to remind me. Number 20. What advice do you give us for the victory of our modest efforts in the Spiritist harvest? And then Gabriel Delanne answers, understand that hope is a synonym of a patience, studying and serving always, being certain that if eternity is our divine heritage, every day is our treasure of infinite resources that we cannot despise. Beautiful, beautiful final answer. So the text is from Paris, France, August 20, 1965. So this last answer is beautiful. I'm going to read again because we have to fully understand it. Understand that hope is a synonym of patience. This is very good because I am very hyper. As you can imagine, I talk a lot. I'm very hyper. And I really don't have a lot of patience. This is one of the things that I have to work in this incarnation and in many others too. So many times we want something to be done at that moment. We want that to change at that moment. And as Gabriel Delanne already said, many things we cannot change at that moment. Many things we will need many reincarnations to happen. But this is important. We have to understand that the hope is a synonym of patience. So studying and serving always, studying, improving ourselves. Let's come here. Let's really dive in the Kardec's books, André Luiz, Emmanuel, so many beautiful books for us to improve and to study. And serving always. We understand in Spiritism, we have to be charitable. We have to help others. In only serving, we are going to be able to see there are others that have more problems than me. Because many times we start thinking, oh, poor me, my life is terrible, my job is horrible, my husband is this, my wife is that, everything is bad. But then when we engage ourselves in some kind of a charitable action work, we start seeing there are other people who are through so much more trouble than us. Like my friend here, my friend Adam, he is always in Africa with another friend of mine, Angelita. And in Africa, they go there with the Fraternity Without Borders to help them. And they tell them that the poverty you have ever imagined in your life does not compare to the poverty in Africa. Imagine many places that they don't even have water. They don't even have food. They don't have anything. It's similar to certain areas in Brazil, but it's in a bigger scale. It's the pain there is much harder. So whenever we start joining some kind of activity to help those people, then we start saying, wow, I complain of my life. Imagine them. So we are bringing light to them. We enlighten ourselves. We feel a little bit better. So this is very important. Then he continues, being certain that if eternity is our divine heritage, every day is our treasure of infinite resources that we cannot despise. So we have the infinity to progress. But let's progress every day. Let's not be that person. Oh, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. I will do next month. Next year. I'll read this book. No, it's too difficult. I'll go to internet to study a book. No, I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna just watch TV, soap opera, Netflix. We have to improve ourselves first. So take the action. Don't be the lazy spiritist that just like to go to the spiritist center to listen to a lecture and blah, blah, blah. But don't put anything in action. We have to listen, but we have to do, although we are not going to improve. So I'm so happy that we have few minutes to study the gospel according to Spiritism. So let's go there. And let me see if anyone wrote anything here. Beautiful answer. So what Saul said here? Understand that hope is a synonym of patience, studying and serving also. Yes, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful answer. I absolutely love it. Gabriel Delanne. So, my friends, here in the Gospel according to Spiritism, we are in chapter 8. Chapter 8. And let me see where I stopped. Yes, we are in true purity, unclean hands. So, in this portion here, I'm going to read few pieces and I'm going to comment. So this is something that's very interesting, because when I was not a spiritist, I was Catholic, and I used to read this, and I used to get so confused because the Israelites, the Jewish of the time, they had the ceremony of cleaning their hands, and this was extremely important for them. But Jesus didn't care about cleaning his hands, and I used to be like, he doesn't care about cleaning the hands? That's so weird. But I really hadn't understood the full meaning of it. As we are going to see here, yes, Jesus cared a lot about the cleaning of the hands because he created the planet. He created all of us, so he understands about the germs and the dirtiness and the danger for our health. But he's really talking about not getting so connected with the rituals, because what happened with the time, Moses brought all those laws about the cleansing of the hands, for example, to protect them, to help them to be healthier, because they used to kill the animal to cook, and immediately they took the bread and ate, so the blood and dirtiness came into their bodies, and then it was much easier to get sick. But Jesus really wants them to clean their hearts, their attitudes. That's what Jesus wants them to clean. So that's what we have to fully understand. So let's read little pieces. Then the scribes and the Pharisees who had come to Jerusalem approached Jesus and said to him, "Why do your disciples violate the tradition of the ancients? For they do not wash their hands when they eat their meals." And then Jesus gave a long explanation. I'm going to summarize just a little bit. And he said, "Hypocrites." Tough. Jesus was a tough cookie. And then he said, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts remain far from me. And it is in vain that they honor me by teaching maxims and ordinances that come from man." So he was saying the scribes and the Pharisees, that there were the sects of the Judaism that really had a really tough time with Jesus, because Jesus was really talking about them all the time, pointing out their mistakes. They loved to boast to others whatever they did. They loved to follow this ritualism of so many rituals they created, so many things. But in reality, inside of them, their actions were very dirty. So they used to say beautiful things, but they actually didn't do beautiful things. So they knew all the rituals of everything and they follow everything, but inside their hearts they continue dirty. So that's what Jesus was trying to show people, to make them to wake up of what they were doing. So in this other portion here, we have then, having called the people, he said to them, hear and understand this well. It is not what enters the mouth that defiles the man, but what comes out of the mouth of the man. What comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and is what makes the man unclean. For it is from the heart that evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, robberies, perjuries, blasphemies, and slanders proceed. The things that make the man unclean are there, but eating without having washed one's hands does not make a man unclean. So here is what Jesus is saying. You, Pharisees, scribes, you love to talk about all the things my disciples and I am doing, but you are very well on doing it. You love to demonstrate to people that you are washing your hands, and I actually read about the ceremony of washing hands, and it's very complicated. You have to wash 3 times to the right, and you wash 3 times to the left, and then you shake and you wash again. It's like it's really a long process. I know that we are thinking about the COVID-19, that we also have to wash with soap. It's similar. It's similar, but it became like a ritual. But what Jesus is saying is what comes out of your mouth, all the blasphemies, robberies, so many bad things that we can say and we can see and we can want could be avoided. But they were not trying to do this type of cleansing. They were just focused on the cleansing of the physical body, not of the spiritual body. And that's what Jesus was trying to do, the cleansing of the physical body. And then he continues here. The Jews had neglected the true commandments to hold to the practice of regulation. So there were around 600 types of rituals that the Jews of the time had created. Isn't that crazy? So you really had to study really hard all those rituals, because you had to follow, because there was always someone watching you to say if you were doing correctly the ritual or not. And that's what Jesus wanted to break. Stop it. Let's really change from the inside out. So he continues. Observe outwards acts, then to reform oneself morally by washing their hands instead of cleansing their heart. That's what I said. So this is what Jesus wanted them to understand. So many Christians come to believe that their salvation was more surely guaranteed by means of outwards practice than the morality. So when we think about the Christianity, Catholicism, for example, the Catholicism idea is like you made some kind of mistake, you go to the priest, you confess, and then he will tell you to pray how many this or how many that, and you are clean. You are clean, free to go, and free to make more mistakes. This is the idea. In Spiritism, we also have this. In Spiritism, you made all kinds of mistakes, and then you think you go to the Spiritist Center, you go there, you receive a passing, you receive the energy healing. So you fortify your physical and spiritual body, you are good to go. You don't need to worry much about what you did. But this is wrong. This is wrong in Catholicism. This is wrong in Spiritism. Everything we did wrong will have a consequence. So we know very well in spiritism the law of action and reaction. So anything good, there will be a good reaction. Anything bad will be a bad reaction. So I gave a lecture last Saturday, and I was talking about this too, trying to explain the difference of tests and atonements. So tests are certain things that we made the mistakes, and we went to the spiritual realm. We studied, we understood how we did wrong, and we come back to pass by the same trial to see if we understood. So to see if we can pass the test now. But atonement is different. Atonement is something wrong you did against someone. So you affected somebody else. And so because you made somebody else to feel pain, to go through a difficult situation, you will have to atone it. Or you will have to go through a similar pain, a similar situation, or as Emmanuel and Joana de Angelis explain, you do not need to go through the same atonement, the same situation, if you are able to understand what you did was really bad. So you have to work towards the improvement of that. And I like to give an example, very simple, like that you could improve your atonement in your one life. Most of the time you can't, but this is just a simple example. When you were a child, you enjoyed killing cats. So you had the how do you call that thing that has two things like this, and you pull elastic and you throw a stone in the head of the cats. I forgot the name of that, but then you kill the cat, and then you kill many cats, and you grew up and you thank God you stopped eating cats, but that thing was inside of you. It's in your conscience. It's not God blaming you for killing your brothers and sisters who are young, but it's your conscience that one day will wake up and will make you feel the pain that you gave to somebody else. But then you end up getting married to a woman that absolutely loves cats, and you can't stand cats, but she loves cats, and because you love her, you usually give up and you embrace the cause of the cats. And with the time, hopefully not too much time, you decided that you also wanted to help her, rescuing the cats, finding homes for these street cats, and you with the time you actually learned how to love cats, and you dedicated your life also to the rescue of them. You guys end up even adopting some cats. So in that life you probably were able to clear our prayer time. So in that time you were able to clear the situation because you were able to rescue your problem from the past. But this is a simple example. Now let's think in a big term. You murder someone. So this is much more complicated, much more complicated. It's not just up to you working on the forgiveness. It's not just up to you helping other kids, adopting children. Yes, all of this will help a lot. Do a little bit of a cleansing of something that you did if you're doing with love. Everything is the intention. But it will also depend on the spirit who was murdered, if he will be forgiving you. But this is just an example of a very big study to explain in a few minutes. So I'm so happy we're able to talk a little bit about the gospel. This is a blessing. So my friends, now I would like to invite our friend Carla, because she will be the one that's going to be doing our final prayer. So before we go to the final prayer, Thank you so much to all of you that are here with us, or all of you that will be listening to this later on, maybe in Kardec Radio recording, Kardec Radio Facebook, YouTube, or even in Mia Inner Light. And I just wanted to remind you that every week we will have a friend joining us to do our final prayer, to pray for our planet, pray for ourselves. And this is really good because I love this interaction, and it's great to see Carla here with us. So let's just concentrate and listen what she's going to tell us. Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank you
opportunity.
for the opportunity.
Let's close our
Let's close
eyes
our eyes
so we can
so
connect
we
with
can
the
connect with the
spirits,
spirits
and we will
and we
vibrate
will
together
vibrate together
for the
for the
positiveness of our planet Earth. Dear God, thank you so much for bringing us together every Thursday, helping us understanding all these studies, helping us in elevating our thoughts and to think about a more loving planet. We are here together praying for the betterment of the earth. We are so much in need. Master Jesus would like to ask to protect all of us and to send us the good spirits that will share with all the positive energy, protecting our physical bodies, our spirits, helping us to connect with our love, with the light, and helping us to understand and to be more tolerant with the difference that we see, that we still see on earth. Master Jesus, at this moment, we're facing so much difficulty. We are facing the pandemic. There are so many people suffering. We would like to ask all the good spirits to send in this love energy to our planet for all those people that are suffering in all the cities, in all the states, in all the countries. All those people, they are sick in the hospital. All those people, they are helping them. They are helping take care of them. And we ask, Jesus, open our heart to face all of this. Please protect all of us and to help us to continue being strong in our faith and help this beautiful planet that we call home. Thank you so much, and so be it.
So be it. Very beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla. Very beautiful. We can feel the love. We can feel the protection and the energy coming through the good spirits listening to your voice. That was very, very good.
Thank you.
So, my friends, thank you so much to all of you that were here for the past hour. This was a blessing. And I wish you all a wonderful weekend. And let's hope to see you all next week, next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Carlinha.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.